Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to week 2 of the National Sparc Champions League. Coming at you from Sydney, Australia, it will be the California Vipers facing off against the Sydney Sea Monkeys on their home turf. And as we begin today's match, we'll get a look at the players who will be facing off today. From the California Vipers, we got Reaper, captain of the team, one of the best players in Sparc to this day, the Watcher, and lastly, Doo-Doo Butter. And over on the other side with the Sydney Sea Monkeys, we have, of course, Hot Dog Go, Heiser Noodle Arm, and last but not least, Angelic 01. So there are your matchups, there are your players. This is week 2 of the regular season. Now a quick bit on how to play for any new Sparc players out there. Here's how it works. Throw and catch only your ball. Use your shield to deflect, but it will disappear after a deflection until you throw your ball once again. Be sure to throw the ball past the foul line and aim for that strike zone. More strikes means a bigger and faster ball to nail your opponent with, but whatever happens, keep on dodging. If you get hit by either ball, your opponent will score a point. Sparc is played best 2 out of 3 rounds. Each round is first to 4 points. And each winning 2 rounds wins you a game. And each match is 2 of 3 games. Winning a round also gives you a point for your team. And those ever important team points will be really key in the final seeding at the end of the regular season. Here we go, we got our matchup, Heiser Noodle Arm and the Watcher, and I have Chad with me today, or GG Lefty, as he likes to go by. Welcome, Chad.
Thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. I'm looking forward to this match here. Watcher facing off against Heiser. Watcher's widely considered the best player in the world, so this should be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, I'm excited, and they also seem to be excited, too, as they prepare in the center, shaking hands and just getting warmed up, and now they're going. It will be the first round here. Remember, best out of 3 rounds for the game, and it will be first to 4 points each round. And we get a look. I believe we're on the side of Heiser Noodle Arm. He has that lighter trailed red ball. And on the other side, the Watcher with the blue trail. Anything to say about these competitors as we get going here?
So this, right now, like I said, Watcher's considered the best player out there, and I think this is a bit of a maybe a bit of a tough challenge for Heiser. I think he had to step in at the last second for this match as one of the captains from his team wasn't available to play today. So Heiser's got his tough road ahead of him, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, but it looks pretty evenly matched so far, but Watcher, as I say that, scores the first point, a shot right to the center. Didn't look like Heiser Noodle Arm saw that coming because not much dodging at all from him, at least that time.
One thing you'll notice with the Watcher is he never ever throws just randomly. Everything he throws is with purpose. It's either a strike or it's a hit or it's very, very close. He's never just wildly throwing the ball, and that's really key for new players out there.
And you can see it right here as everything he seems to throw, even if it's a 1 or 2 bouncer, seems to be aimed towards the center of the field, the center of that strike zone, or an attempt to catch the other player off guard and nail him in the side. And so far, he's been successful 1 time. Heiser Noodle Arm has been doing a good job fending off the attacks. And there you go. Heiser Noodle even turning it back on top of the Watcher and tying it at 1.
One thing Heiser does have going for him is he has some of the best angles in the league. You watch his ball come off the ceiling or off the wall, and it's coming off some really strange angles, and that has to do with the twist that he puts on the ball.
Yeah, a lot of spin. And you can put a lot of spin on the ball in Sparc. You might think it's just throwing and catching, but no, you can spin the ball any which way. The Watcher lands another hit right there. It'll be 2-1 here in the first round.
Yeah, the mechanics in this game are absolutely phenomenal. The physics that they put into it and the way the ball moves and reacts, it's very realistic. It's very real world. And when you get in there, you'll be able to see that and play with it. And it's a fun sport to play. You
could just imagine how awesome it could be if the development was taken over by a new company. I know James.
There's plenty of room for this sport to grow. Absolutely.
I know James, the owner of the National Sparc Champions League, we could call it. He is working on a possibility of taking the game, getting the rights to the game, and trying to develop it a little further. So that would be extremely exciting, especially since it's already so amazingly made right now. It seems to be the physics are pretty fluid, and I mean, that was a pretty fluid throw right there. Heiser Noodle using the ceiling and the ground to his advantage, an up and down zigzag right to the middle of the Watcher, and that will be even at 2 in the scores. But, you know, the Watcher turns it around really quick, one of the best players in the game, and there you go, 3-2 now on the scoreboard. Sometimes I can't even finish a sentence, and the score is already counting up yet another point.
It's funny, you know, with James looking to take over this game, and the plans that he might have for it is, they're absolutely amazing. He's asked some of the players, you know, what changes or what improvements we can make, and there's some really great ideas out there that I'm sure he would implement given the chance.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited to be working with James and hopefully bringing some new ideas to the world of Sparc as well. This game could go in so many awesome directions. And the direction it goes now is into the hands of the Watcher as he takes the first round right there. A nice straight shot to the side. I think that was a one bouncer, or at least a curve from the left side right there. And Heiser Noodle just didn't see it coming or didn't guess it. It looked like he didn't move very much to get out of the way of that one, and he's going to fall short in this
One thing
round.
Heiser is really, really good at is guessing where you're going to be. He doesn't throw the ball where you are, he throws it where you're going to be, and he's almost always on point.
And hopefully that will help him here in round 2, as he doesn't want to give up this first game if he doesn't have to. And it starts off well, already a shot on the Watcher right there. Heiser Noodle now up 1-0, so he started off well, and sometimes that's what you got to do. Come out there into the round and get that early hit when the player is still warming things up.
Absolutely, and if you can get that early hit, maybe a lucky one in the middle of the round, all of a sudden you're up by 2, and it's an uphill battle for the other guy.
Yeah, and psychologically, an uphill battle is always going to be more difficult, even if you have the physical advantage, like someone like the Watcher does, as one of the best players in Sparc, and could be good. But right now, it's even at 1-1, but I can't finish the sentence. Heiser Noodle Arm brings it back with another hit. Doing well to capitalize on the point that Watcher just got. Sometimes a little bit of celebration or pause after you score a point can be a vulnerable position for you to then be hit pretty easily, and Heiser Noodle took advantage of that right there. Look at that, the Watcher's ball floating slowly to the side here.
Yeah,
Must have
missed throw
slipped
by
it
Watcher
out, yeah.
there. One thing to keep an eye on is the strike counts. If you'll notice, they were at 0-0 when they both scored. Watcher's at 4, 5, Heiser's at 11. Watcher typically will increase his strike count almost immediately after scoring a point. You'll just see it going 3, 4, 5, 6, and all of a sudden you're down 6 strikes to 1, and Heiser's doing a really good job at keeping pace here.
Yeah, and that's sometimes a good strategy. Get the strike count up really quickly. Try to get it up into that 10 range before you really start to land those hits, because if you're always going for hits and never building up strikes, you're always going to be working from that disadvantage of a slower ball and a smaller ball. And sometimes that even balance of strikes and going for points is exactly what you need to do out there, especially with players like this. They're the top in the world.
Heiser doing a great job at dodging here. Watcher's ball is, oh, there it goes. Just like you said, as soon as you mentioned it, things change.
Yeah, things change quickly, and look at that. The Watcher now even at 2, but there you go, another point. It's like clockwork. We talk, points are scored, and the score is now 3-2 Heiser Noodle. He's still holding that advantage, and I believe that's the second time, at least in this round, that we've seen him capitalize on a point scored by the Watcher, turn it around right back on top of him, and stay yet 1 point ahead after the score. And that's got to be good against the psychological game of the Watcher, who ties it up at 3 right there. Always getting hit right after he scores a point. But now it's even at 3, and it's back to being anyone's round. Heiser Noodle needs to take it here if he wants to keep this first game going. We'll take a look at him on the news. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's pretty scary playing the Watcher sometimes when you're even or you're tied and it's a close game, and he's throwing the ball right at you even before you even get there. And I'll tell you, it's a scary thing.
Yeah,
One
definitely.
of the biggest issues I have when I play is not building up my strike count like we were talking about earlier. I think that that's key for new players. If you get a chance to get into this sport, make sure you build up that strike count. Don't put yourself at a disadvantage.
Yeah, it's almost a multitasking game. Strike count, points, dodging. You're never still. And the Watcher with a bounce off the near side wall and a low hit to end this round, and by a hair comes away with 2-round wins here in the first game. And I gotta say, we might see a difference in the next couple of games. Heiser Noodle has been quite a good match against the Watcher so far. He's been keeping pace. He was actually in the lead for most of the second round, and I'm really excited to see how he's going to do in the next game here. 2-0 California. They pick up 2 points on the 2-round wins, and let's take a break to talk about the Grit Performance Gym, the official athletic performance gym center for the National Sparc Champions League. You can check out their Facebook or Instagram or their website, grit22pg.com. Whether the game is Sparc or any sport, contact Isaiah at Grit22 to get your personalized workout program to meet your specific goals. The gym is located in central PA, but even if you're not anywhere near that location on the planet, you can find some remote programs as well. We are back here, game 2 beginning. And as we start game 2, again, I can barely speak, and the Watcher is already throwing out a nice point right there as he now leads it 1-0, and you can see the trail colors have changed. The Watcher now with the light-colored, almost red trail, and Heiser Noodle with the blue trail to match his uniform. And the Watcher coming out very, very aggressive here in this round, already up 2-0. Looks like Heiser didn't even see it coming.
You know, it looks like if you pay attention, the Watcher throws balls that are only, 1, maybe 2 bounces. Nothing really fancy, but he's so accurate and so consistent that it's hard to not get hit when you play him.
Yeah, and that's sometimes all it is. It's just that badgering of consistent shots right at the body of the other player, and eventually the other player is just going to have a weakness into their defenses, a weakness in their mind, and it's just going to land. Heiser Noodle found the weakness right there on the left shoulder of the Watcher and makes it 2-1. But still some work for Heiser to do with this uphill battle. As we talked about in the last game, that 2-0 early lead might cause that difficult uphill struggle for the other player.
Absolutely. You know, we talked about this in week 1, which was if you're a new player joining the sport, you can jump into the tank and play any one of these guys. And I got to say, the Watcher has been, for a lot of new players, one of the best resources out there. He's so great about taking new players, playing them for hours at a time, giving them pointers. He helped me out when I started playing, and he's got some really great advice. So if you get a chance to jump in the tank with the Watcher, absolutely take full advantage.
That's good that he is reaching out to the community of Sparc players like that, and you can imagine that might be helpful for him. There he goes, another shot from the side view here. We saw it. Yeah, nice fast throw. It looked like a 0 bouncer, but it's hard to see from the side angle, right to the head. And that's another thing you notice about the Watcher, really switching up where he throws the ball. Sometimes we see a low shot. We saw that in the previous game where he ended the last round of game 1 with that low bouncing shot, and sometimes we see a nice high shot right to the head. He really switches it up, and it's going to be hard to guess where he's going to throw it next. And you see right there just a throw, off the kind of a parallelogram trail shape as he goes to the top right, bottom left. I mean, he's all over the place with his shots, but none of them are inaccurate.
No, absolutely. And when I first started playing, and he'd give me some advice, he'd say, don't just throw with purpose. So that's really key, and that's a win. There's another win for
There's a round win,
Watcher.
Yeah. Throw with purpose is what he did. Literally, as you said the words, the purposeful throw was released. And there's a round win for the Watcher, and it looks like maybe Heiser Noodle will be in a little bit more trouble than we anticipated early on. Watcher with way more round accuracy and strikes in this particular round, so maybe just a difficult couple of seconds for Heiser Noodle, but hopefully he can come back here and maybe get his first round win here in game 2.
Yeah, Heiser definitely has an uphill battle here, but nothing is any given Sunday, as they say. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's any given day, anyone can beat anyone else. Depends on,
Although, having said that, I've never actually beaten the Watcher, so I've won a round here or there, but I've never taken a match.
Your given day has not yet come, but
hasn't come yet. So.
I'm sure it's out there somewhere. I'm sure one day you'll catch him off guard.
He's the kind of player when people say, "Oh, I beat the Watcher," what they mean is I won a round against the Watcher, but they didn't beat him. So I'm still waiting for the day that I beat the Watcher.
Yeah, winning, and that's the thing. You have to win two. I guess if you consider a win an actual beat, a full match, you have to win 2 full games, which means at least 4 rounds, and that is a lot of consistency to have against such a player as the Watcher. It's hard to see how most players would fare well against trying to beat him. You saw Heiser Noodle come out strong in Game 1 and now be struggling here in Game 2. Big accuracy drop and general consistency drop. So
I think Heiser's generally doing a pretty good job. He had struggled in that last round there, but so far I think he's dodging really well. He just needs to get a bit more accurate with his own throws.
Yeah, let's get a good look here how the Watcher's doing. It's tied at 0 here at the beginning of round 2, still early on in the round. Watcher a bouncer off the floor to line it up right with the head of Heiser Noodle and take that first point. Heiser Noodle, no response besides just a couple of strikes, and it's going to be 1-0, and it should stay that way for at least, I don't know, a couple more seconds. Sometimes I talk and the numbers change.
Keep an eye on the strike count. Watcher's only at 2 right now because he just scored. Heiser's at 21. Watch how quickly Watcher catches up.
Yeah, every throw he makes is either a hit or a strike, except for that one right there. But he's still very accurate about that. You see the round accuracy throws be about up to 50-60. And there's a point for Heiser Noodle, his first one in a little while, and it's good to see him put points up on the board. And he'll be back down to 0 strikes as well.
This is where the strike count comes into play. When you just score a point, you get knocked back down to 0, and your opponent has 8 or 9. Especially with an opponent like Watcher, it's an uphill battle for sure.
And based on that strike count thing, it seems to me that to be a really good player in Sparc, you got to be confident with landing hits, even with 0 strikes, because you're going to have to land a couple 0 strike hits if you're going to overtake opponents who are as good as these ones.
Yeah, and there's a couple ways you can do that. I mean, you can throw the ball wildly and off 5 different walls and hopefully you get lucky, or you can try and build up your strike count. I unfortunately throw the wild ball more often than I should when I play.
Yeah, so, hitting all 5 different walls in the 4-walled tank.
I definitely need to work on my accuracy if I'm going to improve my game for sure.
And yeah, that's the Hail Mary of Sparc. Throwing I love the, there you go, Watcher, another point. And you could see that point. That was down right into the floor, bounced right up to the shoulder of Heiser Noodle. I mean, you can't get any more clean than that unless you hit no walls at all. I mean, that right there is a beautiful shot. You're not going to see that from many players in Sparc able to be that clean with their hits.
Did you notice that Watcher using his shield and throwing at the exact same time? That's something that some of the more advanced players can do and make one ball go one direction off 3 walls and the other one go the other direction. He does that better than almost anyone.
Yeah, kind of that pincer movement where you send 2 balls in different directions, and we saw that a lot in last week. I forget which players they were. Maybe it was Viramental or I don't know if you remember, but we had one game where it's just both players were the same thing, like throwing both balls at the same time, and it was so crazy to see both of them try to dodge all the balls and catch their own, and they were getting hit by their own ball a lot. And there the Watcher again strikes right to the center, and he's 1 point away from taking this game as well.
When it comes to players that use their shield well, we're in for a real treat today. The Reaper, who's coming up next, I believe, uses his shield better than anybody in the game, and you'll see some of that in his match for sure.
Yeah. And the shield, right, only comes up when you throw your ball, right? So you get 1 shield use, and you can gain it back by throwing your ball. Is that correct?
That's right. That's right. And if you hold on to your ball too long, actually, your opponent will receive a point if you hold your ball for more than 10 seconds at a time.
Ooh, that's not good. But Heiser Noodle had some good fortune right there as he lands a low shot on the Watcher and brings himself within 1 point. But he needs to turn around 2 more right here if he's going to take this round. This is the only way he can hold on here in this match, as 1 more round win again will be the match win for the Watcher.
Sorry, I said the opponent gets 1 more point. They get a strike if you hold on to your shield too long. So you don't want to hold on to that shield for too long. There you go.
Yeah, because if you hold on this ball too long and all of a sudden you're giving up big points, that could be maybe a little overkill.
Yeah, right? We call it shield holding. We don't want anybody out there holding the shield. It makes for a bit of a boring game, and it's costly with the strikes.
Oh, and absolutely, you cannot feel like you're going to get away with shield holding in Sparc with these levels of players in the Champions League. I mean, definitely not going to happen. If you hold your shield against the Watcher, you're going to lose in 10 seconds, and the Watcher wins that one right there, 4-2. And again, look at that. More throws, more accuracy on the match, though not that much better than Heiser Noodle. I think just his increased throws and his more purposeful action is what brought him the win. Definitely not a bad performance from Heiser Noodle Arm, but I mean, how can you go up against the Watcher, one of the best players in the game, and think it's going to be easy? It's not.
Especially last second. I know he was scheduled to play Kid Monkey during this match, and Heiser stepped in at the last minute. So now we'll go with Reaper and Hot Dog.
Hot Dog Go, Reaper, we've seen them play in the preseason. Both very skilled players, a lot of, focused movement from them. But let's take a moment and look at a quick advertisement from our favorite game, which is already over. One of the things I'm really excited for with the optimization of this game that hopefully will come if James can assume development is the recording quality. As we saw in the advertisement there, it looked much smoother than we get here, and not because there's any problem with the recording here, it's just that the game has not been fully optimized by the company, so that control of optimization might really benefit the overall visual quality of this game as well. Something I'm really, again, excited for.
So keep an eye on Reaper and his shield use in this game. The way he uses it, it's like he's throwing two balls at once almost every time. Hot Dog is absolutely, without a doubt, the best dodger in the game. So you're going to see some real huge movement from him, and he's fun to watch.
And so this should be a good match. We got a strategic thrower using that double shield throw combo against one of the best dodgers in the game. This is going to be quite a crazy match, at least visually from Hot Dog's end, I would assume. Here in match 2, California up 4-0 on points, with the Watcher taking the first match with 4-round wins in both Game 1 and 2 in Game 1, 2 in Game 2. And now again, the Reaper, one of the best players in the game, going up against Hot Dog Go, who we see on the near side here. Hot Dog Go with the blue trailed ball, Reaper with the reddish trail. So you can differentiate the two balls, and Hot Dog Go lands a shot right there. A nice one bouncer off the left side. Good movement on that ball. Looked difficult to dodge, at least from this angle, and he strikes again. I think going to the right side this time, a good way to change things up, and now he's up 2-0 very early in the round.
Already you see Reaper using that shield to throw that double shot, and it hasn't worked out for him yet, but there's another one. Yeah, keep an eye on that, because inevitably it works out for him.
Yeah, and looks like Reaper is going a little crazy with his ball. You see now 3 times in a row he's going 3 walls or more. Now that's 4 times 3 walls or more, and he's just trying to keep it changed up. The accuracy seems like it might be a little low right now, but I don't want to question one of the best players in the game. It looks like his unpredictability is working in his favor. 4 hits off the wall, and that's a point.
That was 27 strikes to 0 he had there, so it really speaks to Hot Dog's ability to dodge and Reaper's ability to throw that ball off 5 walls and still hit the strike zone.
Yeah, I mean, that's impressive to say the least, and you're just going to see all that kind of crazy advanced level play from these players today. You see Reaper kind of calming down here as he's going with one bounce here and there, trying to keep it straight, and even that switch up in your game style, going from many bounces to one, and the direction you're throwing it is going to keep the other player guessing, and when the other player's guessing, they may not be as ready for what you're about to send their way.
Certainly, and there's definitely a thing about setting up your opponent going 3 balls one way and then hitting them with the curveball the other direction. When you're playing at this level, nothing is unheard of. The creativity that these players come up with is second to none.
Yeah, and you pretty much are left to your own devices out there in the tank. You can do anything you want within the very loose rules of the game. So room for anything creative is definitely open.
It's funny, people talk about the what makes a difference, and you're right. You can do anything. You can jump, you can duck, But what comes into play is what type of room are these players playing in? I have a really high ceiling. I can jump as high as I like, but I know that Hot Dog and players like Desperado, they only have like 8-foot ceiling or something. They can't jump at all. So really, you're kind of restricted by the environment you're playing in, but that certainly relates to the virtual environment inside the tank as well.
You notice that coming forth in the Hot Dog's playstyle, you see him dodging low a lot to the left and the right. You see him bending his invisible knees a lot. Look right there on the right as I say that, and you can maybe determine what kind of room you're going to be looking at from the player's side, from how their playstyle is in the tank. Look at that, 2 balls rolling back towards Hot Dog Go, bouncing off the ceiling and the floor, and Reaper gets his second point. Definitely kind of a stalemate between these two players. The points are not flying really quick right now, but Reaper did a great job there, catching Hot Dog Go, and I mean, really between a rock and a hard place. How do you dodge both of those crazy moving balls at the same time?
I don't know. He always seems to do it, though. It really bugs me. We're going to see a lot of strikes, high strike counts in this game, and points are going to be few and far between. Eventually, somebody's going to win. My money, if I had to bet, I would say Hot Dog might eke out a win here, but so far it's pretty even.
Yeah, I mean, that honestly, I'll just play the other side. I feel like Reaper has the edge here. Reaper is more composed out there. I feel like he's going to be able to use Hot Dog's crazy dodging to his advantage and catch him off guard in certain situations. You see him already just time after time throwing both balls back at the same time, and then, eventually Hot Dog's going to lose out there. But you know what, Hot Dog, another point right there, and now he's up 1 point away from taking this first round.
Now you'll see Hot Dog getting his strike count up right away as quickly as possible, because Reaper's only at 6. It's an easy gap to bridge, so hopefully Hot Dog can bridge that gap and get that 4th point.
Yeah, as long as the separation is only a few strikes, it's not too much of a difference, especially for these players. Reaper again throwing both balls back, and he's just been excellent at that. He's just every throw at least attempts to make it a double throw, maybe we'll call it. We got to coin a term for this, right? This is Reaper's style. This is Reaper's 50% of the times he's coming back with this sort of play. So double throw or whatever, but the term will present itself soon, I'm sure.
I'm sure. You know what? We'll come up with. There's a few terms in this sport that have sort of coined themselves. I'll try and point them out as they present themselves in the game here.
Appreciated. Yeah, the lingo of the game is just as important as the physical ability out there. And come on, look at this. Every throw at this point. Look at that Reaper now, 5 times in a row, both balls at the same time. There's another one hitting off many walls. It just doesn't stop. And there's a hit right there. Hot Dog actually getting caught with his own ball.
There's a perfect example.
Yeah, perfect example.
We call that a Cumberbatch. Because you got betrayed by your own ball, as in the Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch?
The Benedict Arnold, getting betrayed by your own balls. We call that the Benedict Cumberbatch. He just got Cumberbatched.
Okay, I like that. I like the term. I don't completely understand it, but I'm totally fine with the term. So
when you hit with your own ball in the face, you got Cumberbatched.
Good enough for me.
We can thank Dr. Bud for that one. That's a great term.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Dr. Bud. Yeah, and Dr. Bud I think will be joining us in the future weeks when Chad himself is out there on the field playing. So.
That's right. I'm looking forward to what he has to say about me while I'm out there in the tank.
I'm excited to hear as well. I'm excited to see you play. I'm excited to see you take that knowledge and put it down there on the field. It's going to be, from my perspective, a really fun match to watch. But
absolutely,
this match is heating up right here, 3-3. Reaper Hot Dog Go. It's going to end soon. The question is when. Hot Dog Go with 25 strikes up to 26, and there is the end as I say it. Bouncing one time off the left side of the wall, and a low hitting shot towards the midsection, and that will wrap up this round. And it will
I
be...
mean, we've got two titans going at it in this tank right now, and with the strike counts, or with the accuracy being 52 and 39%, that's incredibly high. And that first round, I mean, that took 10 minutes, much different than the first match, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was a really long match. That was almost the duration of a full game from the previous match, and that's just to show, you know, how how careful these players are, maybe, because, you know, I mean, they're wild out there, they're throwing with all their might, but they're also very able to, you know, stay away from the ball, the opponent, and their own ball, and not let it hit them too easily.
Absolutely, and you know what? These guys will be drenched in sweat at the end of this game, and that's something I wanted to mention as well. You know, Sparc is an incredibly active virtual sport, and when you finish these games, it's a hell of a workout. So if you're looking to, you know, maybe get in shape and you don't have time to go outside or to a gym or go for a run, or it's too cold, this is a hell of a workout, and it's a great way and a fun way to get yourself in shape.
Yeah, mental and physical. You're getting both your body moving, and you have to be mentally able to multitask as best as possible. I'm not going to say perfectly, because, I mean, that's physically impossible, but definitely being able to switch your focus between catching and throwing and dodging and just planning. You have to plan how to break through your opponent's defense while you're doing all of that, and this game is really going to try you in every physical way possible. And the fact that it's a 1v1 game in a tight space, you're looking at a very tough place to bring all those mental and physical attributes together.
Also, you can play this game almost 24 hours a day. There's North American servers, there's European servers, there's almost
Reaper
always
landing
somebody.
a first shot right there, and it's 1-0.
There's almost always somebody online. Whether you log in the Pacific time zone at midnight, there's going to be 3 or 4 people on. Or if you log in at 12 p.m., there's going to be 20 people on. So there's almost always somebody to play from all over the world. You can never really log on and see zeros. So really, if you're a new player you want to play, just jump in any room, and you can get a chance to enjoy this sport as well.
Yeah, and I personally think once VR becomes a more mainstream and affordable device, Hot Dog Go, responding in likeness, there's a nice shot. He had a high strike count, but I mean, it's still a point, and that's exactly what he needs right now.
Even
but
at strikes too.
Yeah. And anyway, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah,
as VR
gets more
VR being affordable.
It's going to be this game's going to get more popular because more people are going to be able to get their hands on the game and put this into play. Because I feel like the general population is really going to be into games where it's just this, you know, competitive 1v1 where you get to outmatch another player, and it's physical and it's mental and it's simple but also really hard to get really good at, and those are the kind of games that make it. I'm really optimistic about the future.
You know what
of
else
this
is
game.
really unique about this game is how, you know, you see these players, they created this avatar. You get to create your own look and how you're perceived, but your body is 100% recreated in the virtual world. So when you're standing there waiting to play, there's another player standing there. They're moving around exactly. Their character is moving around exactly like they are. They're represented. Their body is represented 100%. And there's no other game like that. There's other games where you have an avatar, but there's no other game where you are your avatar. So
it's awesome.
Unlike anything else I've ever experienced. It's not just playing a video game on a big screen. It's playing a sport against a person that you can see and almost touch and feel.
Yeah, that truly is amazing, especially that it's able to represent it so accurately. So you really feel like, in a sense, you are meeting the other person as closely as possible as that could be, until VR gets so crazy that you might as well be teleporting at that point.
Yeah, it's almost like that. I mean, I was shocked the first time I went in. I go, can they see me? And they said, yeah, we can see you. And I'm like, oh my God, they can hear me too. So it's unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Yeah, and Reaper coming through with another point right there. High strike count again, and it seems like that's what these players have to do to break through each other's defenses. And I mean, this looks easy when they're doing it. It looks like, wow, I mean, yeah, it's not too hard, but I'll tell you what, a lot of these balls wouldn't have been dodged by other competitors. And unfortunately, Reaper coming up short there on the dodge, actually leaned right into it, gets nailed in the left shoulder as he ducks down, and Hot Dog will even the score up at 2. And even is really the way to describe this match so far. I mean, honestly, it's kind of, it really feels like a stalemate in chess, right? I mean, trying to break through, and it's just only because that strike count makes the ball almost impossible to dodge that points are even being scored.
That's right. The strikes are the ultimate decision maker sometimes in this. But when you have two players like this, the high level like this, it's anybody's game really. But the good news is, like I said, if you want to jump in and play with these players, you can. And just wanted to talk quickly about some of the advice that I got as a new player when it comes to dodging and throwing, and most of it came from the watcher, believe it or not. And he said, don't ever reach for your ball. You see these guys, if they can't reach their ball, they just let it go past them and grab the next ball. Don't ever reach. Always look forward. Always look at your other person's ball, because your ball will always come back to you no matter what. It's always going to come back to you. The opponent's ball, that's the one that's unpredictable. So make sure that you're always looking forward, looking for your opponent's ball, and never reach. Just let it go by, get the next one if you can't reach it. You don't want to get caught with your hands in the air, totally exposed. So just a quick tidbit for new players, that's all.
No, that's a good tip. And the opponent's ball is the more important one, as that's the one you need to dodge. And your ball is the one, well, you need to throw it, but it's better to dodge than to throw, because if you throw and don't dodge, well, you'll find yourself losing. And there you go, Hot Dog landing another shot. A lack of dodging from Reaper there, but again, strike counts were counting pretty high, and Hot Dog was 1 point away from ending this round as well.
I don't want to call him out, but Reaper did get caught reaching there. Like I told him not to. He just did it.
Well, why don't you get out there in the tank and...
I play these guys all the time, and honestly, I've never beaten Hot Dog either. I've beaten Reaper one time, and that was a big day for me. But,
yeah, I mean, you probably were celebrating, got some...
I was. We had a party that night, that's for sure.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And just... must feel so awesome to best someone so composed out there. And that's just that's the word I describe Reaper when I watch him play, is composed. It's just every movement he does is calculated, and it doesn't seem to be without any sense of confidence. And, he makes a mistake. Y'all make a mistake. I mean, no one's perfect out there in the ring, but composure is what I see. Hot Dog Go, though, doing good in this round so far, has a win already and working on his next one, only 1 point away, and it's going to come down to the end of this.
Looks like neither guy wants to be the first to throw the ball here.
Yeah.
It looks like they both want to wait for the other guy to throw first. Counter-punching, as they call it.
Yeah, maybe they're not sure what to do at this point. I mean, it's been pretty hard to break through. It's been pretty much get those 30 strikes, and finally it just happens by accident. But
they're probably both exhausted as well.
Yeah, sometimes you notice that too. They take a break in the tank. Look right here. We're getting a little bit of they pause for both for a second, probably catching their breath, maybe chugging some water on the side. You don't know.
27-1 strikes for Reaper, so he's got the advantage here, but definitely some shield holding going on. Nobody wants to be the first guy to throw. Everybody wants to have that block and throw, and Hot Dog's definitely at a disadvantage with only 2 strikes.
I think, I don't know, when you started there, you saw Reaper's shot a few shots ago. I think he hit the wall almost 10 times.
Oh, right there, yeah.
Yeah, I mean there, but it was like that would double. Someone's got to count the record on the most walls hit per throw, and I believe 10 is probably up there. He's doing it again. Look at that. He's just going crazy. Maybe he's just... he has the 32 strikes, and as we've seen before, that's a strategy for the high strike count, breaking through. But I mean, they've been pausing a lot here. I think they're really wearing out.
No, I think that's the strategy thing. See, Hot Dog definitely... Oh, there it is.
Oh, that's
Hot Dog definitely wanted Reaper to throw because he's got the most strikes. And it's hard to get strikes when your opponent has the faster, bigger ball. So he's looking to counter-punch, and now they're back down to even, so you're going to see a lot more throwing.
Yeah, and I mean, come on. I mean, did you see that point land right there? I mean, like, it was just a beautiful, no bouncers, just curved right to the side. I mean, that was beautiful shot.
Yeah,
but
no
we're tied
to
at
get
3.
Sometimes
Strikes are relatively tied. Points are actually tied, and it's just going to be the next point to bring us into the next round win. Hot Dog Go could take the game here if he gets that next point. Reaper could keep this game alive if he can score the next point. And certainly it could be any of these two players who have both been back and forth today. Throwing, they are a lot more than they were a few minutes ago, which, as Chad says, makes a lot of sense.
You know, we talked about the night that I beat the Reaper. I was pretty happy about that. My son actually won one round against the Reaper 3 or 4 months ago, and he still talks about it. Oh, there's a win by Hot Dog.
Yeah, Hot Dog taking this one, another victory against the Reaper. He might be celebrating tonight. It's very hard to do, and you could see them struggling every throw of the game so far. And I mean, it's going to be tough in game 2. You could see anyone winning here. I don't think there's anyone with a clear advantage. But Sydney, it's good to see them put some points up on the board for their team, 4-2 there, and things might get more even as we move forward. Let's talk about the NSCL official store. Check out the NSCL website, powered by Squad Locker, to pick up your favorite NSCL team gear and show support for your team. Also, you can buy some replica team jerseys that you can customize with your own name or your favorite player's name. Back in the tank, here we are. Players are ready for game 2. Here we go into round 1. They look all prepared, and I think they're going to get going right here. There's the first
one thing I wanted to point out about that first game. That first game, they had 340-something throws, 335 throws. Just to put that in perspective, an average two-round game would be, 70 throws per round, so 140. So these guys are throwing twice as much, sometimes 3 times as much as a normal game when you get at this level. So these guys are gotta be just exhausted.
Yeah, I think you're gonna just see it continue to prolong itself in these games too, as they get more tired. More and more throws will be needed to break through each other, I think, or maybe the opposite will happen. But that's just my prediction.
I've never seen Hot Dog get tired, so I don't know, or Reaper for that matter. So I don't know that's going to be an issue for either of them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure at this point, with playing Sparc so much, they probably have a lot of built-up endurance to be able to, and efficiency even, be able to play Sparc to the best of the ability with wasting the least amount of energy. And it looks pretty good right there. Hot Dog landing the first shot, and again, the Sydney Sea Monkeys coming out strong in match 2. Hot Dog tries to streak towards another round win. And Reaper really got to turn something around here. He's been struggling. I mean, he's been not struggling in the sense of actually struggling, just been a little bit slower than Hot Dog on getting points. Hot Dog always seems to be 1 point ahead, and Reaper's going to have to flip that on its side if he wants to take a round win.
And there's certain things you can do in the middle of a match once you learn how your opponent plays and his playing style, or his or her playing style, and that's throwing your ball away from them, throwing your ball at certain times over different angles. And I think that Reaper is one of the better players at figuring that out. So I think we might see a bit of a turnaround here in the second game.
Yeah, I think the adaptation factor is going to be big here, and if anyone's going to do it, it will be Reaper. Hot Dog go with the different trail here, because game 2 switches that color up. He's got the red trail. Reaper now with the blue-greenish trail, actually, more it is. So keep your eye on that switch up so you can follow whose ball is whose. We're on the side of Reaper here. We got a good vantage point from what he's doing. He seems to be going with some straight throws here. 1 bouncer, 2 bouncer tops. Goes with a crazy one right there, but just missed Hot Dog. Threw it a little bit too high. Hot Dog again dropping very low to the ground. Now we get a look at his side, and again, look at that dodging all the way to the left side of the screen, almost to the floor on the right. And it's just good movement from Hot Dog. Everything Reaper throws, Hot Dog can avoid. It was right down the middle. Hot Dog now to the left side, and it's just looking good from his end.
If you look at how light Hot Dog is on his feet, he's always bouncing, he's always moving. He's only 5'9" as well, so he has a bit of advantage when it comes to getting low just like that. And I talked about jumping on to play these players at any time of day. Just to give you an idea, that Reaper is in California, I believe. I think he's in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. And so he's in the Pacific time zone, and you can find him online any evening, really. But, midnight, 11 p.m. Pacific is a good time to catch him. Hot Dog, I believe, is from, I want to say Nashville? Anyway, so he's a couple hours ahead, but he's on here almost every single day. These players play all the time, so if you want to jump on and see them, or see me, I'm also in the Pacific time zone. I'm on midnight almost every night Pacific, and I'd be happy to play any of these players that come along.
Yeah, definitely go check that out if you have the ability to get Sparc. Reaper with 42 strikes, and that is the first time I think I've ever seen the maximum. Yep. Finally lands the hit there, but that lasted for almost a full minute. I mean, I don't know. That's impressive on Hot Dog's part. I mean, if it takes 42 strikes from one of the best players in the game to finally hit you, you are definitely, maybe, actually one of the best players in the game as well.
Set it right. If you're going to go, Hot Dog's the best dodger in the game, and that is a tip, a feather in his cap for sure, to playing the Reaper to cut up to 42 strikes, so well done by both of them.
Yeah, so, I mean, score's still close, Reaper still with a chance, but we'll see if he can break through Hot Dog right now. Maybe it's just going to be a different strategy as far as throwing goes. He's been slacking off and being able to move both balls back and forth as often. I've seen that of late, and he needs to come back with a fury of adrenaline here if he's going to overtake and get on top of Hot Dog, get on top of him in points, and kind of take control of the match. That's the problem that I've seen so far. I think Reaper has struggled to hold control, and even though he's been scoring points and playing well, it's that psychological, advantage that he needs to reinstitute. Reaper, again, letting up another hit, and he's down now 3-1, and Hot Dog, again, within only 1 point of taking the first round here in the second game.
One thing you'll see, the reason Hot Dog is sometimes so hard to hit, is he keeps his throwing hand way on the outside. You see whether he's blocking or he's throwing, his hands are on the outside. They're nowhere near his body, so his ball and the opponent's ball never gets anywhere near his body when he's throwing or blocking. Reaper, on the other hand, blocks right from his body, so the ball gets up. There's a better chance that it's going to get through.
Yeah. I'm sure there's advantages to both, or at least, I don't know, physical advantages to both, but
these are the kind of things that I look for when I'm playing games, when I'm playing against these players, and watching it here certainly gives a new perspective.
Yeah, Hot Dog all the way to the right side there, almost touched the wall on the right side, but still managed to fall right into Reaper's throw. So very good from Reaper right there, bringing it up 1 point, and now he's within one of tying it. There's still some work to do from him, and I don't think you're going to get many more mistakes like that from Hot Dog, who again, very skillfully dodging here. He's still all the way to the right side. I mean, for every throw, he's just moving almost a third halfway to the wall on either side. And I mean, that movement never seems to stop, never seems to tire out. And you can't. Hard to break through that.
Hot Dog plays outside. There's no way he's in an actual room enclosed by borders. I think he plays in a forest or something where there's no walls, because he seems to move. He seems to have all the space in the world to move when really he's just confined by the tank, and he's really, really good at using that space.
Yeah, I mean, at least a very large room. I mean, to play in, and that's got to be an advantage. Like we said, you just have all that movement and.
You'd think so. I have a very large room, and I get hit all the time. So.
Yeah, well, maybe take a page out of Hot Dog's book and just dive around,
It's funny. I was talking to Winter Soldier the other day, and he spends a lot of time actually looking at tape, just like an NFL coach would, looking at tape of some of his strongest competitors, trying to figure out ways to beat them, and obviously it shows he's one of the better players out there.
Yeah, definitely the discipline to watch others and try to pull strategy from that viewing is going to show your expertise in the game, and the fact that you can even watch and be like, okay, I know how to defend against this, or I know how to battle against this, just from watching. That is something that is hard to develop. Definitely, I mean, I'm watching here, but I don't think I'd know how to beat Hot Dog just from all this viewing.
No, you can pick a lot of things up, though, like you said, and there's a lot of these players that stream their matches. The Watcher streams a lot of almost everything he plays is streamed online. Environmental is the same way. Gnarly is the same way. So there's loads of tape out there on these guys, and now that I'm saying that out loud, I feel like I should be watching more of it myself.
Yeah, that might help you out. Might bring you to that win against the Reaper that you covet. No, you have one, right? So
one against the Reaper. It's a Hot Dog and Watcher that I haven't.
Hot Dog and Watcher, yeah. So
and the other one in this league. There's 3 in this league I have not beaten, and that is Kid Monkey.
Reaper up to 36 strikes and finally striking through to Hot Dog Go, and it's just. It's taken so long for him to get there, and he's finally tied at 3, but I mean, he's gonna have to do an early strike point here to take this round, because Hot Dog, look at that, already up to 20 strikes, and really with the advantage at this point. So can Reaper pull something crazy right here? Look at him down low on the ground, like head on the floor right there to dodge those last couple of throws, but he's coming back with a fury, 2 balls at once right there, and a little bit of a diagonal throw as well, but Hot Dog puts an end in that plan very quickly. A nice one bouncer off the left side to bring that point score to 4 and end this first round here in Game 2. Hot Dog only 1 round from taking this game as well and taking the match by the rules. And he gives another point to the Sydney Sea Monkeys, who are now only within 1 of tying the California Vipers.
What a close match between these two teams today. I don't see anything changing in this next round. I think that it's going to be just as close as last. They had 175 and 100 and something, another high count for throws in that last game, and that's literally twice as much as you would see in a normal game. So these guys are really they're putting the work in today.
Yeah, and here they begin the next round. Strong here, 0-0 on the board. No early points.
One of the things that is huge in this game is timing, and even though in that last point, I don't know if you noticed, but Hot Dog sort of misplayed his ball. He missed through it. He sort of whiffed on the first one, and that's the ball that Reaper was reacting to. It was immediately after that he threw the ball, just like that. He sort of missed through it by accident and then threw it properly, and that's the one that hit him. So sometimes just changing up the timing is all it takes to get that last throw.
Yeah, purposeful misthrow might actually be useful sometimes. Reaper starting off strong in this round. First time I think that he's really led around for a little bit of time so far, so we'll see if we can hold on to that advantage and maybe pick up this game. On the side of Reaper, remember he has the green trailed ball, and you can see him trying to dodge out of the way there. Not as much lateral movement on his side than from Hot Dog, but still a pretty good dodger. He has good sense of where the ball is going to be. Usually he's not too overly aggressive on making sure he can catch his own before dodging the other one, so pretty good strategy out there.
Yeah, a lot of guys don't like catching their. There's a nice
Hot
ball by Hot Dog.
Evening it at 1, and now Reaper's got to strike. Reaper's got to strike hard and strike fast right now. Strike hard, strike fast, no mercy. Cobra Kai. For anyone who's watched that, we need some Cobra Kai Reaper right here if he's gonna take this round. That's definitely. I mean, there's no question about it right now. Hot Dog Go is clearly, at least today, just coming out with everything, and it almost leaves me speechless when you see him dodge so skillfully, even this late into the match, where anybody else would be so tired and so unable to do so. So we'll see what Reaper can come up with. I'm excited. Come on, Reaper.
And it's what's interesting about this sport is that there are players of every age in the league and players all over the world. I mean, I've played players that are 8 years old all the way up to well, myself, I'm 47. You know, and I think I'm one of the older players in the league. But there's guys even older than me, and they play hard and they play often, and they never ever give up. They never quit. So the level of play and the level of competitiveness in this league is in the sport is second to none.
That's good to know, and I think as the community grows, we're really going to see that. A double trading of points right there. Both balls thrown, both balls landed, and both balls almost symmetrical in the way that they hit. A couple of bouncers going topside first, and it's even at 2 in that likeness. Hot Dog Go not satisfied with 1 point, and he strikes for 2. And now it's 3-2.
1 point away from the win now.
Yeah, and this is going to be it. Hot Dog lands 1 more point. Hot Dog goes on to take this match and tie the Sydney Sea Monkeys back up against the California Vipers here in week 2 of I almost said NLCS, like baseball. NCLS. NSCL.
Thank you. I was about to correct you again.
Yeah, please. Sorry, I'm spending my time watching Hot Dogs dodging that I cannot. My dyslexia is kicking in. My it's a good excuse, I guess. Hot Dog Go wins the round. Okay, enough. Hot Dog says enough with your lack of remembrance.
Acronym knowledge.
Yeah, acronym knowledge. There you go. And Hot Dog let's just put this one in the. Let's put the nail in this one. So Hot Dog Go, less accuracy on the round, way more dodging efficiency. Look at that, 86%. That's some of the best in the world for Sparc, and takes this round as well. 2 round wins, both in Game 1 and Game 2 in a row, making 4 in a row, 4 points for the Sydney Sea Monkeys, who are now tied with the California Vipers as we head to Match 3, which will face Doo-Doo Butter off against Angelic 01. And what do we know about these players? I don't know a ton, and I'll turn to Chad here to tell us about them.
Well, interestingly, Angelic is the only lady in the only woman player in our league, and hopefully we can get a few more as time goes on. But she is a serious competitor, and she can hold her own with anyone. Hot Dog Go is, I believe, from the Midwest. He's a player that has improved immensely since I've known him, which is about 6 months, and he's getting better every single day. Literally, you can see the improvement. So this is going to be a close matchup, and I think that it should be fun to watch.
I think you mean Doo-Doo Butter instead of Hot Dog Go.
Butter,
yeah.
Butter, sorry, you're right.
You can see them lining up, and see Angelic with the longer hair. That's actually
She
really
always
nice.
curtsies before every match, which is very, very polite, very nice.
Very nice. I love that. All right, we got two more similar-looking ball trails here. Angelic here with green, more of a greenish color, and looks like Doo-Doo Butter has more of a teal blue, so keep your eye on that. They will be tough to tell apart, but if you watch the players, you can see who's throwing what. Again, if you... while Chad was telling us about these players, the quick message from Sparc as well. Check out those social medias for Sparc. You can follow all the action on those, the YouTube, the Twitter, the Instagram, all of that is there. And Doo-Doo Butter begins this round on a strong note for the California Vipers with an early point against Angelic.
You'll see, you watch Doo's wrist action when he throws the ball. He puts a lot of spin on the ball, and it's very, very tough to tell where it's going to go. It's very, and that's what I'm talking about. When it comes off the wall, it's very unpredictable and where you think it's going to go.
Yeah, you saw it take an odd angle there.
Angelic strength is throwing the ball right down the middle, right just like that.
Right. You say it happens. That's how it works here from the commentator's booth. If we say something, it will definitely come to fruition. Come to fruition right on the screen in front of you. Angelic, again, beautiful. That was almost as beautiful as one of Reaper's points from the previous game, just curving right down the middle, and almost nothing you can do because it locks you up. And she ties it at 2, and we're even at 2, and this one is moving a little bit quicker than the previous matches.
One thing that always surprises me about Angelic is the amount of power and speed that she manages to put on the ball, even with no strikes, just like that. She's only had 1 strike there, but that was a pretty quick ball for 1 strike. I don't know what she does when she throws the ball, but she's better than most at getting some power early.
And she's showing that prowess early here in the match as she lands another point, but Doo-Doo Butter again responding in likeness. Another straight shot from him, and we're even at 3. And just like that, the round is almost over here in the first game. And this is match 3, so this is going to be the time where we see either California or Sydney separate themselves and take the full match on the day.
That's right, we're all tied up at 2. Oh, and 2 gets the first round.
You said tied up, and then the match is like, we're done now, so there you go. Round 1 is over in favor of Doo-Doo Butter, who landed that last hit, and we'll start off strong here. Round throws almost even, but Doo-Doo Butter again with just a little bit more hitting accuracy. Unfortunately, his strike accuracy was very low, and Angelic as well, 36%. That's not really the same as we've seen from Hot Dog Go or the Reaper, and maybe that shows a little bit, but
36% for Angelic, but only 13% for Doo. So
yeah,
I
that's
think
low.
Doo, if he's going to want to win a second round here, he's going to have to certainly increase that accuracy.
Yeah, but like you said, maybe the strikes aren't as big of a deal for him since he can put that wild spin on the ball, and that's going to be big.
Certainly unpredictable, that's for sure.
Well, we got Angelic here on the near side, still with that lighter green colored ball. Throws are pretty straightforward. She looks to go 1 bouncer at most. There's a downward angled throw there, and again goes for 1 bounce. Dodging very acutely, I would say. Not too much crazy movement, definitely no Hot Dog Go, but still getting the job done. He's able to move left and right, but not right there. She dodges right into the center of the throw from Doo-Doo Butter, who goes up 1-0 here in the second round.
Yeah, sometimes pre-dodging is a bit of a problem for when you're playing somebody who's as accurate or as good as Doo-Doo Butter. You can't move before the ball gets there. They're going to hit you. You have all the time in the world to get yourself out of the way. So those last second dodges are certainly a thing that you can utilize. But moving too early, that's going to kill you.
Yeah, Angelic here. That's one of the first times we've seen her throw at zigzag motion there, and maybe just to keep it unpredictable as she goes back to that usual straight right down the middle shot. And if you throw enough of those, you're just gonna beat away at the players' defenses and eventually get through. And seems to be working. It almost hit Doodoo Butter right there. Somehow it just missed. And,
she seems to be throwing a little more personally now. Seems like she's upset. She's angry. So
yeah, she's getting after Doodoo. She didn't like giving up that first point, and she's coming out strong here to try to even things up.
Now, interestingly, she recently got a new PlayStation 5 and a new Oculus headset, and she plays this sport on multiple different platforms. It's interesting to speak to her about how the game plays differently on different platforms. So it feels different when you're playing on PlayStation as it does when you're playing on Oculus, and some people prefer one over the other. But she has all of the different platforms, and so she has a unique perspective on that.
And her unique perspective just earned her another point here in the tank. It's 1-1 now. A nice straight shot. I think that might have been a one bouncer. If I saw that correctly, I was focusing more on what Chad was saying. But either way, it's even at 1, and we still got a lot of game to go before the end of this round.
There's another point by Doodoo Butter, just a simple one bouncer down, and Angelic just trying to get some strikes. She's at 0 right now. There's one. Nope, she missed it. So, a few weeks ago I was in a tank with Angelic, and her husband was actually she was upstairs in one room, and her husband was playing on a different platform downstairs in another room. And I thought that was pretty interesting that, because this isn't really a sport you can play with somebody in the same house, but they can do it, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's nice that they're able to work that out. Angelic evens it at 2. A nice shot right there, and Doodoo Butter is going to need to make some moves. Doodoo Butter also up to 2 points. So they're moving forward in the round. Halfway to 4 here. I'm sure you all could do that in math, but I'll tell you anyway. I like the hair, like how they in the game you can have the long hair if you're like a female. So I'm like how they add that extra knack to it, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have all kinds of options when you're creating your avatar. Some people go for reality. Some people try to make yourself look badass. But Angelica, she's like I said, she's one of the only women certainly the only woman in the league, but one of the only women in the game, and she has a unique look for sure.
Yeah, and how
a unique personality. She's one of the most wonderful people you'll ever meet. She's fantastic.
Yeah, I will definitely be honored to meet any of these players if I get the chance to in the future. But yeah, how is even like the lower tiered players in the league? How do they compare to your average Sparc player? Like, I mean, going up against Angelic and Doodoo Butter, I mean, they're very good players. Angelic with another point right there. But I mean, of course, and we're tied at 3. Can I get my sentence out or no? But I guess not. Doodoo Butter, another straight shot, and there's the round loss for Angelic and the win for Doodoo Butter. That flurry of points here in the end of the round. And it was straight shots. It was one bouncer's tops, and that's just sometimes how you do it, especially when you're not having to deal with someone like Hot Dog Go. I mean, sometimes it's best to just keep it simple, keep it accurate, and just keep beating away at your opponent, building up those strikes until it's just too much to deal with. That will put California up now 2 points as we head towards Game 2 between Doodoo Butter and Angelic. California Vipers are leading. CCP Games, everybody. Developers of Sparc, we thank them for their support and, of course, this awesome game. Definitely try to check out Sparc if you can. Pick up a Sparc VR on the Oculus Store, Steam, or PlayStation Store. You will need a VR headset, but it's definitely worth it.
Also,
give
it's
it a
not
try
a very
and meet
expensive
some of the
game either. I
players.
think they sell it for $10 sometimes. It's not a very expensive game. So on any platform. So it's a real easy, inexpensive way to get yourself in shape and have a lot of fun.
And you can see how the tank has changed colors now as we head to Game 2 and the trail colors of our balls has switched. You can see Doodoo Butter very obviously with that bright red color, and Angelic now leaning more to the blue side of teal with her trail.
So you were asking about the level of play between...
Yeah, so the lower tiered players in the league, how do they compare to your average Sparc player? Still very good, or what do you think?
You know, it's funny. There are a lot of players that are as good, so even better than some of the lower tier players in the league. But I mean, we're talking about, if there's 24 players in the league, these are probably the top 35, 40 players in the world. But those 15 other ones, some of them are better than the league players, believe it or not. And some of them have gotten very, very good, very fast. Shout out to people like Win Diddy. Dr. Bud is another. These are players that have that have only started playing the game recently, but maybe a little longer than most, but have gotten extremely good and beat a lot of us on a regular basis.
That's great. That's great to see that the skill in the community growing, and I mean through that we saw a weird pause there for a few minutes. I think maybe a technical issue or just a break they were taking, but they came out of that pause in a flurry and traded points, and now it's 2-1 Angelic here in the first round of this game too.
Other thing I wanted to mention that there are two different. When Doo-Doo Butters are tying it up there.
Yeah, and Angelic responding in likeness, a nice straight shot right to the body. Seems like that's when they're most vulnerable. They get a shot, they're celebrating, and that's when the other ball comes right back to the end. And it makes sense because these players are both very likely to just go straight for the shot, one bouncers at most, and if they just keep throwing after they get hit, they're probably going to catch each other a little off guard.
So as I was saying, there's two different versions of that, or two different ways to play this game. This is called advanced mode, where it's best of 3 rounds and up to 4, first to 4 points. The other way is what's called basic mode, and that is a 3-minute timed game, and most points wins. And the biggest difference between the two is with the basic mode, you have the ability to block with both hands whether you have a shield or not. So you can actually punch your opponent's ball out of the way with your bare hand. So you don't have to dodge as much, but balls are coming at you from a million different angles in that way. So if you want to get in and just play some quick games, they don't have to be marathons like some of these. A 3-minute timed game, you can bang a couple of those out, and oh, there's Angelic taking round 1.
Oh, that is just beautiful right there. Took round 1 in style. 2 balls hitting Doo-Doo Butter at the same time, both his own and hers. And I don't know if that was coordinated or not, but let's pretend like it is, because that is a Reaper play right there to send both balls back and land both hits. Definitely one of the highlights of this match so far. Head to round 2 here in game 2, and the advantage is in the hands of Angelic.
With the players between the two different styles of play, the basic and advanced, you know, advanced has its top tier players, and basic has their own top tier players, and they're very different games. Although it's the same premise, they're played very differently. And some of the better players in the basic mode, guys like Snowcosis, who else? Names are escaping me right now. But there's some amazing players that play in the basic mode that don't ever make their way over to advanced. So make sure you check out both of those if you ever log in.
Yeah, certainly different strategies, especially when advanced forces you to move around a lot more and completely change up how you're going to view the opponent's ball on your own. And by the way, Doo-Doo Butter a couple throws ago landed one on Angelic and started off this round a little bit stronger than the previous one. But yeah, definitely check out both modes. I didn't even know that we had the differences between those two modes.
Yeah, it's funny, and there's like I said, there are very different groups of people that play both. You know, great shot by Angelic.
Angelic again. I mean, we've seen it all day. Straight shot, one bouncer, and that's going to get it done. And honestly, as she continues to improve, that's going to be a pretty hard strategy to get around. Doo-Doo Butter again, easy shot right to the right shoulder. So I think if Angelic improves that dodging a little bit, that those simple shots that just are simple, but she keeps them unpredictable. One bounce down, one bounce up, curving shot that doesn't hit any walls. It's just going to be tough to really get a break on the side of receiving those shots.
Sometimes your opponent has to make a mistake, right? And we've seen Doo and all these players do that at times, but she seems to know what she's doing a lot of the times, and it usually pays off.
Yeah,
absolutely. You know, we talk about the two different styles of play and the two different groups of players that play it. Oh, there's another one right up the gut by Angelic.
Yeah, very good throw.
There's a big argument going on about who are the better players, the advanced players or the basic players. It's a kind of a running childish joke argument, and there's never any way to find out. I wish there was a way to find out, you know, the best advanced players versus best basic players, but there's unfortunately, I think that's an argument that's going to go on for years and years and years.
Yeah, you'd have to either mod the game so you could allow both basic and advanced moves in the same match, and also have it be timed, or I don't know. But it would be, yeah, they're so different. How could you match it up? Doo-Doo Butter like with a point, Angelic then responding in likeness with another one when we're tied at 3. Definitely a quick escalating match, and we've seen that a lot so far. It's just been quiet for a minute, and all of a sudden points are traded very quickly, as the strike counts continue to increase. So one more point, and This game might be brought to a close if Angelic is the creator of that point.
Angelic, yeah, and she could tie up the day's match, the day's proceedings with this.
And she does right there. 4-3. Can we say something and it not happen is the question.
Nope.
4-3. Angelic wins that one. Again, another straight shot, and it's just beautiful how she's out there, and it's so simple but so effective, and good way to end that one. Takes game 2 and is going to push this final match into our first game 3 of the day, which again, no difference on the rules of the games, but we haven't seen it been that even where we've needed a game 3. So California and Sydney tied at 6 as we head to game 3, and honestly, just based on the possibilities of numbers, it's going to come out pretty close between the two teams by the end. Again, here is the Grit 22 Performance Gym. Don't forget to check out their website, Facebook, Instagram, grit22pg.com. They will help you set up a personalized training program for your goals located in central PA, but they have remote programs available if you're not anywhere near that specific location. Yeah, they're official performance gym for the National Sparc Champions League. Last game is getting started here. Angel back on the side with the light green ball. Doo-Doo Butter on the other side with the more bluish teal ball. And the game 3 will begin.
By Angelic, and we're underway.
Yeah, I like that. That's like a style. Now you'll recognize her, you know?
You will. You'll see it all the time. It's funny. She could change her. In fact, I heard once that she did change her look, and nobody knew who she was until the game started, and she curtsied, and everybody said, "Oh, that's who that is."
Yeah. Very, very, very good to develop that style, and it's just good sportsmanship too. It's good sportsmanship to be
absolutely
polite at the beginning right there. You might come out there and see some players just be like, you know, already throwing punches, trying to just get right into it, but you know, that kind of grace, the gracefulness out there, and then you know what, that gracefulness kind of transfers to her play. Her style, in my opinion, is very graceful, simple, and effective, and it's gotten her some wins so far here in the league, and there's another point as I say so.
I think just being a woman and being chosen by one of the teams as one of the first 16 players in the league, it says a lot about her level of play. She's definitely one of the top players in the world. Takes a quick 2-1 lead in this one.
Yeah, a 3-point lead right there, just counting up the points. The more we build her up, the more we see the skill ensue. And now we're only 1 point away from Angelic taking the advantage in game 3. Doo-Doo Putter's got to do some work, though. We get a look from his side at the throws coming at him. You can see how straight they are, and his dodging is not super lateral. He's trying to keep control of his ball. Maybe he's a little bit of a reacher. Maybe he's a little bit too much focused on his own ball. Definitely hard to tell, though.
I certainly don't think Angelic can afford to lay off here. Oh, and she takes the win.
As you say that, she's not going to lay off. And there is the win. 4-1, a quick match. Once she got 1 point, once she got 2, which is exponentially increased or decreased the time between points. And with more round accuracy, 48, and more accurate throws landed, we're already in round 2. And we're pretty close to wrapping this one up. Doo-Doo Butter's got a final last gasp attempt here, but he can't let that happen if he's going to try to win. That's another point. Angelic lands very early, barely gotten going, and Angelic finds that weakness in his armor.
I think that was a Cumberbatch throw by Doo-Doo. I think he hit himself in the face there.
Oh, was it maybe? I thought I saw the green explosion, and that's Angelic's ball.
Angelic's wearing the yellow, and Doo's got the green. But either way, we're tied at 1 now. Hopefully Angelic can find it in there to pull something out here and finish this off early and not have to make this go to a 3rd round and get the comfortable win.
Maybe I'm seeing it wrong, but I see Angelic's as a light green and Doo-Doo Butters as a teal. Maybe my eyes are not seeing the colors the same. No, yeah. Definitely can see fine. It's more, I guess, my perception of the colors. But either way, you guys get the idea. Angelic letting up a point right there, moving right into the ball. It was a very simple throw, but it did the job. And Doo-Doo Butter coming back with some adrenaline here, but not for long. Angelic dodges to the right with her throw and right into the Doo-Doo Butter movement, and now we're even at 2.
That was a great read by Angelic. She knew that he was going over to the left there, and she threw it right in his face. It was perfect.
Yeah, and he He was not even able to dodge that because you're right. She throws it quick. She throws it direct. And, I mean, if she guesses right, it's going to be very hard to get out of the way.
Can I just say that I love the pink sunglasses on Dudu's outfit? I think that
great,
is
yeah.
so out of place and perfect that it's just the best part of it.
He keeps it real and cool, you know? Even if he's letting up points, you know, he's staying cool, he's staying calm. Dudu Butter, pink glass power.
It's 3-3.
Yeah, but they do trade points right there, so he lands a point, he gives up a point, and then honestly, Angelic could do it right here. And Dudu Butter, this is his only chance to take another round win. If he doesn't take it here, he's got no more chances left. And if he does take it here, he does tie it up with Sydney, and it'll be a very exciting final round.
Absolutely. It's just game 7 of the... Oh, no!
He does take it. Right there. Dudu Butter, 4-3 on the round, and Angelic will have to battle it out in round 3. An even match so far. More throws from Dudu Butter. We'll see that accuracy stat here in a second. And then we'll go to a final round. Dudu Butter, less accuracy on the strikes, though.
These two are extremely evenly matched today, and I mean that can change from day to day. But this is an incredibly close match, similar to the one with the Reaper and Hot Dog, just on a little quicker scale.
Yeah, it's interesting how close matches will be, but how different they'll look. I mean, Reaper and Hot Dog, nothing like this, the matchup between Dudu Butter and Angelic. So it's interesting to see how different play styles are and how they kind of play out in the tank. 7-7, California and Sydney. This is it, guys. This is the round to decide all rounds. Whoever wins, their team walks home a little bit happier than another team. Remember, this is regular season, though, so those points only get added to after all the weeks of competing. Full total points will decide who gets seated where, but I mean, taking the win against another team, it's just a big confidence boost, and I mean, every point's gonna count.
Especially with it's 3-3. Oh, there's a first opening point by Dude. With 3-3, I wonder if the nerves are going to make be a factor in this last round.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially they're so evenly matched. There's not going to be that sense of, oh, I got this. Oh, this is a definite win. It's going to be, oh, I could, and especially the way some of these players are throwing. I mean, I could give up 3 points right here in the next 3 seconds. You know, I mean, we've seen that happen. So we'll see how they trade points today. So far, Dudu starting off a little stronger, and Angelic, who was very, very good towards the beginning of this match, has slacked off a little bit. So hopefully she can throw directly, stay strong here, and bring a victory for the Sydney Sea Monkeys.
Yeah, she's getting a little wild with the throws, but takes one there, ties it up at 1.
Yeah, can't say that. Can't say something here, and then it's just the opposite happens out there. Or we say it happens, or we say it and the opposite happens. It's never just, it's never normal play when we're talking. It's always,
No, definitely not.
Well, thank you for contradicting us, Angelic, because that's what we want to see. We want to see high levels of skill. We don't want to.
This is another player that you can find online at around midnight Pacific. Dude,
Dudu
taking
Butter.
a second shot there.
Evens
Second
it up,
point.
2-1. And the excitement builds as we head towards the end of this round.
Now, if Dude gets the 3rd point here, Angelic's going to have to certainly get creative and do something a little different, try and make up that gap.
Right, yeah, because once they get to that 3, that's where the nerves start to set in, because it's only one more point, one more mistake, and you are done. So it would be very strategic if Angelic can just land one right here and even it up.
This is a perfect spot for her to use her shield too, maybe get that double shot coming back at Dude a little quicker, but
we saw that work wonders
shield,
before.
sure.
And honestly, with Dudu's dodging, I would think Angelic, if she can pull a couple of those off, that's going to probably land 1 or even 2 points very quickly on top of Dudu. So we'll see if she can pull that off. Right now, not so much. Maybe here and there you get a double ball back, but it's not directed perfectly.
Nice.
But, I mean, I think she did it right there, and that's going to be a landed another shot, and we're even at 2. And Angelic is back in, possibly ending this game victorious. But she's got to do it quickly. She's 1 point away from losing. Dudu Butter responds in likeness with another point and is 3-2. And now we're really down to the wire here in this one. Strikes are low. We're not going to see a lot of strikes from these players. They're not the most accurate or strike-focused players out there. But certainly
they're getting so many points, the game's over before they get a chance to get the strikes up.
Exactly.
Oh, 3-3.
There's another point, and we're even at 3, and now it is sudden death, so to speak. Next point brings it home for whichever team was able to score that point. We're on the side of Doodoo Butter here. We get a look from his vantage point with that more tealish, bluish ball. And, I mean, his throws seem a little wild right now. He goes top side right there. No luck. Now back. He goes many bounces from the top to the bottom and still struggling to get it near Angelic's body. Maybe a one bouncer, no luck again. Dodges a little right, trying to stay centered, and will flip back over to the side of Angelic. A nice straight shot down the middle, cannot land it. Another straight one, this time with one bounce. Again, the same throw, but he got blocked right there. And now she throws it away up towards the top. Goes to the left side, that almost hit Doodoo Butter. Definitely very close, but could not land it. And she goes back left, and still no luck. Doodoo Butter still throwing well, blocking, but not able to land any shots on Angelic either.
He's had quite a few throws that have gone underneath her, just like that one there that have been so close. Oh!
And Doodoo Butter finally ends the round right there. That was definitely a hard-fought last point. Definitely some really close throws from Angelic. Probably a couple of pixels away, you could probably say. But Doodoo Butter brings it to an end right there with a higher shot. Couple of bounces off the side. There's the end replay right there, right to the right shoulder. And Doodoo Butter will bring it home for the California Vipers. They will go up 8-7 on the match, bringing it to a final score of, again, 8-7. California Vipers over the Sydney Sea Monkeys.
All right, sounds good. Yeah. One thing that I think is, I'm gonna hit stop on this recording. One second.